Hey, welcome back. We are back on the radiator and radiator hose replacement. We're really just replacing this hose because of age. It wasn't leaking or anything, but since the truck's got a lot of miles and we had a lot of stuff apart for replacing the radiator, we're going to go ahead and do this guy too. You're going to notice that I won't be reusing these OEM, more like a, I don't know if you want to call it like a tension clamp or a spring-loaded clamp. I don't know what the technical term for it is, and I really don't care. The bottom line is they're all going to be replaced with these worm-style clamps. You can get them at pretty much any auto parts store. We're kind of going to do things pretty much just the way we did when we took it off. We're going to feed this guy down in here. Place that in here kind of like this. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see down there, so I'll just show it up here. So let's just say I was trying to get this upper hose back on here, you know what I mean? You can just take a little bit of your silicone spray, boom boom, and that helps let the hose slide up on there a little bit easier, so it might save you. Here I'm just kind of lining my clamp up where I want it. Alright, so we're getting ready to put this radiator back in here, and I've compared it to the other one, and there is some differences. A lot of times they make these things so that they can fit multiple applications. So sometimes they'll give you like fittings like this. Your line would fit into here, and then this would fit into the radiator. And sometimes with aftermarket stuff they also do weird shit like this, where they have an extra outlet here, and then they'll just put like a dummy cap on here and a clamp. I guess from their standpoint it makes more sense to make radiators that are more universal to work with different models of the same truck, you know what I'm saying? We got everything situated. I've cleaned all this shit out of here. I've got our little rubber, I guess you want to call them supports, little rubber supports. Both of these are back in place. This is what the radiator is going to sit on, so it's not, you know, metal on metal or rubbing. So we're kind of going to put this shroud back kind of like the way we had it in the beginning. That way we can still get to our connections down here. So we kind of got her kind of just situated like that. Alright, what's up? I'm here from the future. Well, not the future as from now, but the future as from when the video was made, because, well, check this out. I've never seen this before. When I went and put the new radiator in, I drove it for about a week or so, and I had a little faint coolant leak, and I went and checked it, and what I found was that one of these hold down big nuts was loose, and I actually had a coolant leak from this nut itself. So all I ended up doing was taking some alligator pliers and just snugging that up. I checked the remaining 3 of them and they were all tight, but I had one that was loose, and to be honest, I'd never seen that before, so something to keep in mind. Hopefully you won't run into the same problem that I did. Go ahead and take the lower hose and kind of just work him on there. You can take a little bit of your compound. I mean, you don't have to go crazy, but just a little. Oh. Steady there, boss. Just a little bit. I'm just doing whatever it takes so that I diminish the chances of this motherfucker leaking. You know what I'm saying? Because this has like this little flared end on it, it shouldn't need that pipe goop on it. I'm kind of rocking back and forth on the line. as I'm tightening up the fitting. Kind of helps it, you know, do its thing. So we're gonna have to hold the fitting with one wrench and then tighten the line up with the other. We're just gonna wash, rinse, repeat for this other one. Go around this motherfucker. So I'm doing things a little bit different here. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the lower cooler line over here on this side before I finagle this shroud back around. So we've got him tightened up. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and bang this shroud back around. I let him sit there. I'm not going to really tighten him up right now. It's not a big deal. Hey, bud. You going to help me out or what, motherfucker? Go ahead and bang this cooler line back on. Go ahead and take our cooler line over here. So, got our lines in, lower rad hose on, still got a banger upper on. I think before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and put these two upper mounts on here. You can see it's got the slot in here. So kind of just fish it down in there like that. Kind of pulled back on the radiator a little bit, slid this in, and then let her sit like that. Same thing here, pull her back, and get that under there. I don't know, when I see stuff like this, I think they put this on here for a reason. Is it gonna help prevent anything? Don't know. The old clamps, not using them. We've got new worm clamps. I'm gonna go ahead and fish this guy in here. And get this guy on here. I guess the order that you do this doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put those two bolts back in that were from underneath. The upper shroud has these two pegs right here, and they're supposed to go in these little holes right here. And that's how you know you've got it oriented properly. So we can just bang in our remaining fasteners. Sometimes these things can be a fucking asshole. And I think what has happened in the past is this kind of elongated just enough that I ended up having to put a zip tie on it. What you can do is get a small hose clamp, and I think because we've come this far, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I just got a little extra clamp I had laying around. Like I said, I think I had like a small drip or something from that thing before, which is why I just put a little zip tie around it. Which, I mean, it did work. It never leaked after that. But since we're here and we're doing everything, there's no sense on not doing that. And we're ready to fill this guy up. The last thing we have to do is to fill and bleed the cooling system. But that's going to be its own video. There's going to be a link in the description to that video, and that's what you can use to complete the job. Giving it a quick look, see, make sure nothing's obviously leaking out of this thing. Go ahead and put the new radiator cap on. Being that we replaced the radiator, the transmission cooler inside the radiator had fluid in it, and we lost that fluid when we replaced the radiator. So what I want to do now is I want to check the transmission fluid. I've got the vehicle hot, operating temperature. Go ahead and rock back on this locking tab. It'll allow you to pull the transmission dipstick out for a good old wipe off. Let this thing bottom out, pull it right back up. So there's our hot area, and we're right in the middle of that. So we really didn't lose that much fluid. In fact, I'm probably not even going to top this off any. I guess it's good that I had the extra quart transmission fluid just in case I had to add it. Better to have it than not have it, I guess. As far as the radiator video goes, there's one last thing to do. Because the radiator had a engine oil cooler in there, we're going to definitely want to check the oil and top her off if needed. I couldn't find the engine oil stick.
Oh.
So wipe her off. We're basically about a whole quart low. That's kind of why we have the extra quart of oil. We're at the top dot here, so we are completely full. So that pretty much covers it for the radiator replacement in this truck. I think we covered a lot of good stuff, and hopefully y'all find this thing useful. The total savings here was significant because the OEM direct fit radiator was over $400 for this truck, and we're not going to do that, you know what I mean? So for $400 basically we got the radiator, both hoses, the clamps, the deck spool, the thermostat, the one temperature sensor, the other temperature sensor, the quart of oil, the quart of transmission fluid, and every little odds and ends that we needed for this. So we saved a ton of money doing it ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe. Thanks.